Good evening and welcome to Inside Ospol. I'm your host, Miko Santos. Tonight, we're taking a deeper look at the fallout from August 31st March for Australian protests, a moment that ignite headlines, stir public debate, and force out to confront uncomfortable truth about politics, extremism, and democracy in this country. This isn't about amplifying fringe voices. It's about understanding what happened, why it matters, and what it means for all of us moving forward. Across Australia, thousands of people gather under the March for Australian banner. Adelaide saw one of the largest turnout, more than 15,000 people. That's higher than the Sydney, Brisbane, or even Melbourne. But what stood out wasn't just the crowd its size. It was the mix of people present. Alongside Australians, genuinely angry about housing and the cost of living, were neo Nazis, far right activists. The race thought a question: were these rallies hijacked by extremists? Or are extremist groups simply more organized and visible than many of us realize? We can't ignore the reality. Australia is facing a cost of living crunch. Housing feels out of reach. Rents are climbing. Wages aren't keeping pace. These pressures are real. And in times of strain, history shows us something. It's easy to find scapegoats. Immigration is now in the firing line. But here's the thing: migrant pay taxes, support key industry, contribute billions to our economy. International students alone sustain universities. The real causes of housing crisis: years of policy failure, speculative property markets, and developers sitting on empty homes. Yet, blaming immigrant in a simpler story. It's thick because it's emotional, not factual. This is where the far right groups seize the opportunity. They know how to channel anger. They use social media to spread disinformation, conspiracy theories, and scapegoating narratives. Outrage fuels click, and click fuels rich. We saw this during COVID-19 protests. We're seeing it now with housing and migration debates. Even if their numbers are small, their presence shifts the conversation. Worse, when embodied, they escalate into harassment or violence. Australia isn't at the stage of Europe or the US, where far right parties win election, but last weekend was a reminder. The conditions for growth are here. The warning signs are clear. So, what does this mean for Australia? First, leadership matters. Politicians need to tackle cost of living pressures, housing shortage, without scapegoating migrants. Short-term blames risk legitimizing extremist narratives. Second, media coverage matters too. The protest dominated headline. Some argue the coverage inflated their importance, giving oxygen to the loudest fringe. That's a challenge for all of us in journalism. Report factual, but avoid amplifying extremism. And finally, the responsibility on us as citizens. Do we want debate driven by fears or falsehood, or by the fact and solution? The August 31st protests were more than another weekend demonstration. They were a snapshot of a country under pressure, where a real frustration exists, but where extremists are ready to exploit it. Australia isn't immune to what's happening overseas, but we still have a choice. With accountability, leadership, and fact-based debate, we can keep fringe group on the fringe instead of letting them define the center. That's it for this week Inside OSPO. If you want fearless coverage, fact-check reporting, and deeper analysis of the issues shaping our politics, head over to readmencari.com and subscribe. Support independent journalism because democracy depends on it. I'm Miko Santos. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week.